Hey, Max, we'll get you up here.
All right, everybody, let's grab a seat.
Have a seat, everyone, please. Thank you.
We don't want to have too many chairs.
Nanny, do you have a code to put out?
Sure. So, yeah, that should be good. Everybody, please.
All right, I guess I'm recognition tonight. Nice. All right.
She was excited. Now you get the real
All right, let's stand up and get this party started.
Yeah. Let's go.
So, wonderful Thursday evening. I'd like to start with a power push. I think let's do, how about make a difference?
All right, let's go.
Make a difference?
Yeah.
Okay, so for Maximilian, we go woo. I'm showing you woo. Whoosh. Make a difference. Boom. That's it. I'm sorry.
Don't confuse it too much.
Okay. Ready?
Woo.
Whoosh. Make a difference. Boom. Sorry, I threw you off there.
Whoosh.
Everyone having a good week so far?
Whatever you want to say.
Yes, good. So I was reading Carlos, you having a good week? You feeling better? You're alive? Yeah, I like that feeling. So I was reading an article this week, and it was from, where was it from? MoneyUSNews.com, and it was quite sad, some of the statistics that it shared, that I want to share with you, some scary 8 financial statistics. And this is from the end of last year, and it said 2/3 of Americans would struggle to scrounge up $1,000 in an emergency.
Wow.
That's pretty sad. Pretty sad. Only 24% of millennials demonstrate basic financial literacy. Do we all think that's probably true from what we've seen? Yes. Among adults who have combined finances in current or previous relationships, 2 out of 5 fess up to committing financial infidelity. I think I probably have been there at some point. Don't tell my husband. Sneak the bags in, sneak the bags in. That trunk gets piled and then I have to bring them in front of him. Okay, about 77 million or 35% of adults with a credit file have debt in collections. 35% of adults. Only 46% of Americans have funds for a rainy day. The number of consumers aged 60 and older with student loan debt has quadrupled. Should you have student loan debt in your 60s?
No. Jeez, no.
Student loan debt? Okay, my husband's 53. We're pretty close. Okay. Nearly 1/3 of Americans pay the minimum on their credit card every month. And almost 1/2 of student loan holders express concern about their ability to pay student debt. Are these pretty sad statistics?
Yeah.
Really unfortunate statistics. But you know what? Out of all of these things, these are all things that we deal with here, right? Mm-hmm. So how can we help people in this situation get out of it? What are solutions that we offer for these statistics?
We educate them.
We educate them. What do we offer to them? We offer an opportunity to make more money to get out of this situation.
Right.
We offer financial education, right? We give them the tools to not fall into the statistics. So what a great opportunity we have, and how many people's lives we can touch by these statistics. There's a lot of people out there that can use our help either for the opportunity or for the financial education, right? Do we all agree?
Yes.
Yes. Pretty sad statistics, yeah.
Very sad.
So, but you know what? It's so great that we have WFG to be able to get out there and to help people. So I think that's pretty amazing. So yeah, some pretty sad statistics. So let's do some fun since we went through some negative. So in the last 7 days, who has sat kneecap to kneecap either on a KTP or on a one-on-one in the last 7 days? Please stand up.
That's you.
Okay, let's start with Susan. How many?
Let's see.
3 and 3. 3 and 3.
3 and 3. Woo! Good job. Congratulations, Susan. And when did you join us? 3 weeks ago. That's pretty amazing. 3 weeks and already doing 3 and 3. Congratulations. Good job. I want to train with you. And Tim?
Just 2 first, please.
2 first. Good job. And Mark?
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Congratulations. And Carlos?
2 first.
2 first. Good job. Juan?
1 first appointment.
1 first appointment. Great job.
5 and 3.
Woo! 5 and 3. And I had 1, but Susan, can I bring you up for 30 seconds to talk about what you're doing? Tell us what you're doing and how you're making a difference.
Okay.
Don't be shy.
All right, well, so I had the opportunity this week, came in, sat down with Andy, went through my financial needs analysis. I learned basically what you're going to be doing when you sit down with somebody and you present some of the options that they have for, their financial future and where they're at and how they need to kind of prepare for the place that they are.
Right.
I had the opportunity to actually talk to somebody today at a lunch, try and get her. She is actually one of these statistics.
Right.
First step is get a job. So
right.
she is actually at that point, and hopefully, she said that maybe now's not the time, but hopefully in the future she'll take advantage of that.
Right.
And then let's see, what else did we do?
You rolled
And
over.
I've started the training, and I'm rolling over.
Roll over 4, and 2 IULs.
Yes.
Very good.
Good job. Good job. Very good. In the last 7 days, who has brought on a new business partner? Please stand up. Okay. It's him. And I have one too. Yay! Brother and sister.
We're just gonna go fired up.
All right.
Whoops.
Oh.
Oh, was that me?
That's okay.
Oh.
It's not the first time you
You got
hit me. No, I'm
stuck.
just kidding. Right?
I get stuck on you.
We won't tell about childhood. That's a different meeting. Just kidding.
Don't do that.
All right. In the last 7 days, who has passed their exam, scheduled their exam, or studying for their exam? Please stand up.
Dave.
All right.
All right. We always like to thank you about that.
All right, Susan, where are you at?
I'm studying.
You're studying.
I'm studying.
And do we know when we're going to take it?
Not yet.
But, okay, no problem. Good
She's
job.
working. She's
She's
working.
working on it.
She's there.
Stephanie, how are you doing?
I'm almost done, and I'm going to schedule it next Friday for the 12th.
All right.
All right.
Good job. Good job, Stephanie. All right, Debbie, how are you doing?
I'm studying and I'm trying to schedule for the 6th.
Yeah.
It's the 6th. All right. Good job. Right around the corner. All right, Erica.
So I'm studying. I actually want to do it by tomorrow, but I didn't have a chance to. So hopefully.
Okay. Good job.
It's not loose.
I'm actually going to take it on the 6th as well.
All right. We're taking it Thursday.
I've been up and down like the waves on the ocean, so I had to get a 2-week extension, but I'm looking forward to do it soon.
Okay. Good job. So in 2 weeks, we should have quite a few more licenses in here.
Fired up.
My director is passing the test tomorrow. My director
Woo!
is passing the test.
All right. Good job.
Right.
I don't know if she's watching, but Alexis started taking her course.
Oh, good
All
job,
right.
Alexis. Good
All right,
job.
Alexis.
All right. So, how many licenses? We're going to have 1, 2, 3. We're going to have like 5 in
new
here.
licenses.
That's awesome.
And we already have 3 this month, so we'll have 8 total this month.
That's
9.
awesome.
9
Give
to end.
yourselves a round of applause. Okay, do we have any special recognition tonight? Just the recognition to bring up our super amazing, wonderful senior marketing director.
All right.
Great job.
Bring the heat, buddy.
Huh?
Bring the heat.
All right. How's everybody doing?
Great.
So it's pretty exciting, right? You see a lot of people getting licensed. You get to see a lot of people like a licensed agent is popping out, right? So it's what you sign up to do in WFG, right? In WFG, you're not signing up to be a life insurance agent, salesperson, right? You're here to build a business, and in order for you to have a business that continually generate passive income, you need a continuously popping out licensed agent. It's going to be like a licensed agent making machine, right? Because one of the things that we talk about is how many of you guys actually were at my training on Monday night? We talk about ratio and stuff like that, right? The rest of you guys who were not in that training, then I have a link that you can actually watch that training, right? I think I sent out to some of you guys as well, right? So one of the things that we're focusing on this year is to increase our licensed agent numbers, right? Because in the financial services industry, in any industry, if you want to dominate, you need to have the most amount of distribution out there, right? The most amount of, we call it outlets, right? So you think about it, right? Why is it that McDonald's is actually selling like what, billions and billions of burger, right? They don't make the best burger in the world, but they sell the most amount of burger, right? Because every corner there's a McDonald's, right? So same thing in the financial services industry. In order for you to dominate in the financial services industry, it's measured by the number of licensed agents, right? So we're like, I talked to David about a few weeks ago, and we're in a campaign to actually ramping up our licensed agent, right? So right now we're at after the numbers updated, we should be at about 33 licensed agents.
Yeah.
So by the end of this month, we should be at 40 licensed agents, right? And our goal is this. If you guys write this down, right? If you want to make, this is a simple formula, right? You guys want to have, I mean, there's so many things in the business that you have to focus on, yes or no, right? But if you can also boil it down to a few things that you can, a few number that you can focus on, and you can actually get to where you want to be, then it's a lot more simpler, right? So write this down. How many of you guys want to make six-figure income? Right. How many of you guys want to make six-figure passive income?
7 figures.
Right. There's a huge difference, right? You can actually, just so you guys know, you can actually make six-figure income here without having a team, right? If you just get good at what I'm gonna show you guys in later on in a little bit, you can actually going out and make six-figure income by yourself. But at the same time, if you actually want to make six-figure passive income, there's a different story, right? Your focus gotta be a little bit different, right? So in order for you to have a six-figure passive income in WFG, you gotta focus on the amount of licensed agent that's gonna be on your team, right? So here's the formula, right? So just so you guys know, this is some of the average number in the company, right? Because all I know is that if you play with the average, then it's pretty safe, right? Statistically, if you, like there's a large amount of numbers and it all average it out, that's the statistic, right? And then there's going to be the average. If you play with the average, it's going to be a lot safer. That makes sense? So you cannot control the exception, but you can control the rule. That makes sense? So there's a certain amount of, so basically the average in the company, right? You got to know different averages in the company, because if you look at company average and you actually go back and plug your business into that average, then you have a simple formula how to blow up your business, right? So here's the thing. If you're assuming, number one, assuming you're an SMD, right? So first of all, you gotta get to SMD, right? So number one thing is that you gotta get to SMD. Number two, you know the average in the company, if you're an SMD, you have a licensed agent on your team, they're gonna pay you, you're gonna override them, average about $2,000 a year per licensed agent. It's not a lot. It's not huge, but it's average, right? Meaning that we have 50 licensed agents. Some people, it's gonna produce a little bit more. Some people, they're just gonna get their license and then be a secret agent. That makes sense, right? So average it out is about $2,000 a year per licensed agent, right? We have secret agents in there, right? So if you reverse calculate this, right? So let me give you a formula. How many licensed agents you need to be on your team when you're an SMD to make six-figure passive?
10.
50.
50.
So 2,000 times 50 is what?
Oh, to make 6-figure passive.
$100,000, right?
Emotion.
$100,000 passive. So if you focus on having 50 licensed agents on your team, company average it out, you're gonna actually make about six-figure income, right? You know that Dr. Q is making $1 million, right? Right now, he's about 500 something licensed agent.
500.
Oh my.
500 licensed agent in his entire team. Only 500 licensed
Not
agent.
even that much.
500 something licensed agent on his team, right? David is at about close to 300, 280 something, 280 some licensed agent. That's why he make $500,000, right? You do the math, right? 280 licensed agents times 2,000 a year. That's what? 560. 560, right? That's gonna be the amount, right? So if this is the general formula for you so whatever income that you want to have at WFG, you gotta reverse calculate it in terms of how many licensed agents you need to have on your team, right? So our goal this year is that we're running for the next level, right? You guys wanna run for the next level. We're running for EMD and CEO, right? So EMD, how many licensed agents you need to be EMD?
75.
75 and above. 75 licensed agents, right? CEO, you need 100 plus licensed agents. Around 100 to 150, depending on your market. Right? So every one of you guys, if you focus on going back to your business and you reverse calculate from where you're at right now to where you want to be in the future, right? So let's say your goal is to make $250,000 passive. Some of you guys are replacing your full-time income with this. You're transitioning, right? So let's say, how much is your full-time income is? How much is your full-time income? Let's say your full-time income is $100,000 right now that you're trying to replace, right? So what are some of the things that you need to focus on to ramp it up? It's your licensed agent number, right? So if you want to replace six-figure job, then you need to focus on getting 50 licensed agents on your team. How do you get 50 licensed agents?
Awesome.
You're gonna have more recruits.
Go wide.
You have to go wide, and then you say like in our group right now, coming up, we're having about 5-6 people actually popping out as a licensed agent, right? I have a new direct, Jane. She's taking the test tomorrow, right? She's another licensed agent, right? So we gotta focus on this, and then and this is something that we gotta really focus on in terms of. But then if you guys haven't watched my video that talking about ratios of the business, you gotta go back and actually get on the website and actually start learning about it, right? How many of you guys don't have that link?
Where's that the link?
Yeah. Mark you from different team, right? So if you want, I can send it to you too. But yeah, but we talk about all the link, all the ratio in the business as well, right? So let's focus on this. So today, that's something that I just want to touch on before I get into the main topic, right? So today, I want to bring you guys back to the field again, right? So how many of you guys actually learned a lot from the last time that we did field training? We actually bring you out to the field, and then I actually show you how I do the first appointment and how I do the second appointment, actually collect some information, right? And then after that appointment, you're gonna come back, and then this appointment, you're gonna be actually closing, the business, right? So, because a lot of people, they're very good at going out to the field to give information. But at the same time, after they give information, they don't know how to ask for business. That makes sense? That's the key thing that I think that one of the things that we talk about, I talked to David about, and he said that most people in the business, the reason why they don't make money is because they're very good at attending the meeting. You guys are very good at attending a meeting, getting a lot of information, but yet you don't know how to ask for the information in the terms of closing, right? Most of us, we have the information, but we don't know how to close, right? So I'm gonna actually bring you guys to the field and teach you how to close, right? And then actually, gonna help you to overcome some objection as well. That makes sense? So Tim, can you help me to get? So we're gonna set up a table like last time, right? I'm gonna bring you guys out to the field, and I'm gonna do the presentation in front of you guys, right? So let me set this up.
Oh, no.
So how many of you guys remember what the flow of the presentation? Can we get 3 chairs?
Yeah. Those are the ones in the front that are we using them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are you interviewing?
About the
Huh?
enemies
Who
of
are you gonna
finance.
interview?
Who want to volunteer?
I'll go. I could just move my chair.
Okay.
Mac, you want to be Mac?
See if it's working.
It's on.
It's small, but that's fine. Small, Max. Yes, you guys on camera.
Is it on, Tim? Let
Yeah,
me send
it's
you
running.
the new code. Okay?
Oh, new code? Uh-oh. Guess send that out to like 12 people.
Okay, I'll send you a new code. So if they ask for it. All right, guys. So can you guys actually sit on that side? Yeah.
Oh, it's the same code.
Same code. Good.
Good, that's
You
good.
might have to reload it, that's it. Fresh.
What side are we doing now?
Unless you're sitting at Max's left.
Okay. So
Any lights?
You ready, buddy?
right, let's go.
Fired up.
So I'm gonna bring this, Johnny. Can you get closer?
Put it under the chair.
So I'm gonna do this so that you guys can see what I do here as well.
There you go.
Thank you. All right.
Is there any way to
Everybody can see?
make it just the one screen? Do you need all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
What because live stream sees all this too. So share make it bigger.
I know. Come on. I don't want to sit down yet.
Okay. Anyways, because I was gonna show something on the screen here as well, so you guys can see both. Right? You can see my computer screen, and you can see what I do here as well. Okay. So anyway, so
Oh, closer.
you grab one of my piece of paper. Okay, so when I go out to the field, right? So last time what I do is pretty much I go. You guys remember the first appointment that I did, right? So I went to the first appointment. Pretty much I build a rapport with them, right? I build a rapport. I get to know them, and then also I actually present them with some basic concept to kind of intrigue them a little bit more about some of the things that they did not know, right? And then I give them a survey, right? So after the survey, what happened? They tell me what they want to do, right? So after the survey, they'll tell me what they want to do, and then, so the second appointment that I did with you guys last time was that we went out and we do something called the financial needs analysis, right? So financial needs analysis, something like this, right? So something like this, financial needs analysis. So we did the front page and the back page in terms of gather all information, right? So the reason why you guys need to do this with your client is because your client needs to see that, I'm gonna show you guys some example of some of my clients. So I blacked out some of the general information, right? So I'm just gonna show you guys some of the F&A that I actually collected, right? And we're gonna do some case study, right? So I'm gonna show you with the information that I found, what are some of the recommendations that I have with them and how I close the business out on the field. That makes sense, right? And so basically, the third appointment that we have, let me see if I can. Up on my computer. This computer froze. All right, so anyway, so the third appointment that I do is, first of all, when I go back, I actually recap with them that what we did last time, right? So I'm gonna go over some of the things that we do. So number one, I recap what we discussed last time. Number two, I review the F&A. Right? I reviewed this F&A with them along the way in terms of what we did last time. And then we go over some of the numbers. So for example, you know, like some of the income that they have, some of the expenses that we talk about, and what is their discretionary income. So write this term down, discretionary income, right? This is some of the terms that you guys need to master a little bit more, right? Because sometimes when you, like a few financial terms that you understand, that actually make you sound a little bit smarter, you know what I'm saying? So discretionary income, meaning that whatever income that they have left after the expenses, after they pay for all the expenses. And then number three, the third thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the proposal with them, right? So the 401k rollover or IUL, and I'm gonna actually help you guys to do that as well. And then the fourth thing that we're gonna do is in terms of closing, right? So I'm gonna show you guys how to fill the application to see if you qualify, to see if they qualify, and then show them a 401k. So who's good at making copies? Let's see how many copies that we need. Can you make a copy for everybody on this one?
Be your copier.
25, yeah.
Don't forget to put a quarter in.
It's 19. 19.
All right, anyway, so I don't know why this froze, because I was gonna show you guys a little bit more. Give me a second, let me reset one.
You would think that the farther you pull it down back, the wider. So,
There we go. All right, you guys see this, right?
yeah. Are they seeing it?
Okay, here we go. So Tia is gonna make a copy of this for you guys, right? So let me go over some of the things that we talked about, right? So first of all is the third appointment, right? So in terms of we recap what we discussed last time. Number two is we're gonna review the F&A, go over some numbers. And number three, I'm gonna show you guys how I do a proposal, right? So how I do actually propose to people in terms of based on what we collect, based on the information that we collect last time, what are some of the things that we actually recommend them to do, right? And then, so you typically, it all boils down to two things. If you're a life license, you can only do two things right now, is 401k rollover to a fixed index annuity and or an IUL illustration, right? And then closing, and also ask for referral and offer recruiting opportunity, right? So I'm gonna go over a full presentation with that. Yeah?
I'm sorry, I have 2 pens and none of them work. Does anybody have
Yeah,
one
what?
to give me?
Right. So you guys can see this one? Here,
Thank
here,
you.
here you go. Here you go.
It's still fun, Andy.
Huh?
You're still good. How about another? How about another?
Okay. Anyway, so the mouse for some reason it froze. So anyway, so so let's go over the real case, right? So basically last time we is Tia? Did she get
Yeah.
main copy? So basically, what we talk about is last time is, so I come back to the presentation, right? So let's say Tim is my trainee, right? And then I'm coming back, and then Kristen and Max is husband and wife, right?
Yep.
So basically, we go back and then we recap about what we talked about last time. So Kristen and Max, so just small talk, right? And then after that, it's like, hey, we last time you remember that we talked about, your financial needs analysis, right?
Right.
So what we do is we go back and then we actually have a financial needs analysis that we propose, and then we actually print it out. Usually I printed out a financial needs analysis. So if you guys go into my WFG, you go to recruiting and selling, there's a section called the F&A, right? So you can actually punch in all this number that you gather from people, and then you can actually pop out a full, like financial needs analysis that you can actually print out, and it looks very professional, like the one that Susan has.
Fancy.
Right. So can I borrow one of yours, Susan? Right. So something like this, right? So you actually can print this out and then give it to your client, right? So it has pretty much has prepared exclusively for the client's name, right? Presented by your name, right? And then World Financial Group and things like that. So basically over here, it actually talk about a few things. It talk about, if you actually punch in all this information, it's gonna actually generate here in terms of 6 things, right? They talk about cash flow, they talk about proper protection, right? And they talk about, in terms of debt and also, like their investments as well, right? So we're gonna talk about that in a little bit as well. So what we go in, and then we're gonna review a little bit about what we do. So last time, Kristen and Max, we talked about your goals, right?
Right.
So you remember some of the things that we discussed last time, right? And in terms of, you guys want to retire by the age of 65, right? And then at the same time, you want to send your kids to college, and like just revise a little bit more about some of the goals that they have. And then so we actually came up with there's something called financial needs analysis. It's actually talking about in terms of your cash flow, how much disposable income that you have, and how much in terms of insurance that you need, and how much that you don't have right now, right? And then so basically we want to talk about the next step in the business is actually I need to have Tia to have the sheet.
Just get it up. I think I need a new paper.
I just put paper in there.
This thing froze. So anyway, so I was gonna show you guys this, but I need to block out my client's name. Okay. So I was gonna show you guys up here, but this one. Okay, let me do this. Right. So this is one of the full financial needs analysis that we have.
Printer has a jam.
Oh, don't worry about it then. Don't worry about it.
No, don't.
So basically, you guys don't know this client anyways, right? So basically, just
Oh my
block
God.
it out.
I know her.
No, you don't. Right. So basically, this client, right? We talk about, so pretend this client is the case study. This client is 45 years old, right? Both of them are engineer, and then the client combined income is about $210,000 a year. Okay. And so they actually they actually bring home about $210,000, and their expenses is about $8,400 a month, right? So their disposable income is about $9,000 a month, right? So that's the kind of amount of money that they are actually looking to invest, right? And on this side is actually, so they have about $9,000 that they're looking to actually invest somewhere, right? And so right here is some of the goal that we talk about them, right? So right now, they're 45 years old. Their retirement age is 65, right? And so they actually need about $145,000 a year to retire on, okay? And so right now what they have is, in terms of tax now, they have $110,000 in the bank, that's just sitting in the bank, right? And tax later, in terms of 401k, they have about $180,000 in the 401k, right? Combined husband and wife. And then they have nothing in terms of Roth IRA or IUL and cash value accumulation, right? And on this side, in terms of insurance, they only have company insurance. That's what most people have, right? Most people, when you ask them, hey, do you have insurance? They will tell you that they have insurance, but when you find out, they only have term life insurance. So so this couple, they only have about $100,000 in death benefit with their company. So when they're working with a company, they have it, and when they're not working anymore, they don't have it, and they're looking for a permanent life insurance, about $500,000. Okay, so that's what we have right now. And so basically, let's pretend that you guys are this couple. Okay, so when I go back and we talk about, hey, we go over some of the numbers that we talked about last time. So you guys have about $9,000 in terms of disposable income that you're looking to invest, right? And then you're looking for about $500,000 in death benefit. And then you actually, this is the asset that you have right now. So right now you're having $110,000 in the bank. And then you're having about $180,000 in tax later in the 401k, and nothing in the Roth IRA and IUL and accumulation, right? So basically what I do is that I go back and actually run some numbers, right? So basically they have about $9,000 and they're looking for a pension of about $145,000 a year in terms of income, right? So they're looking for, can you guys, I don't know, can you move this closer?
Back it up.
Thank you. What?
Back it up.
Right. Let's go.
No, back it up. Back it
Okay.
up. He wants to see
That's
the
good.
paper.
What?
Oh, the paper? Okay, he
Yeah,
wants
see
it
this
closer.
paper.
All right.
There we go.
Just the handle too.
There we go.
All right. So basically, Kristen and Max, you guys are looking for about $145,000 in terms of pension, right? In terms of pension, in terms of the money that was gonna pay you for the rest of your life, from 65 all the way to around 100, right? And so basically, what I do is that with right now we're talking about we're looking at about $9,000 in disposable income that you guys have right here, right? Right now you have about $9,000 a month that you can look to invest, right? And right now you have about $180,000 in a 401k, right? So what I do is that when I go back, I actually run some numbers, but this thing froze, so I can't really show you guys, illustration. But basically, when you run illustration, right? So I run an illustration for husband and wife, 45 years old, right? And then at $500,000 in death benefit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I would actually help them to put it in 2 IUL, right? So I put in an IUL for a husband, and an IUL for a wife, right? So both of them have $500,000 in death benefit, and then they're contributing about $2,000 a month, each in an IUL, okay? And so from 45 all the way to 65 years old. 45 to 65 years old, right? And then when the illustration, if I can show you guys, they actually gonna have about income stream is about $55,000 a year from age 65 to age 100 years old, right? Same thing here, around $55,000 a year from age 65 to age 100, right? So basically, each of them, so out of this $9,000, right, I would actually put in $2,000 a month in each husband and wife IUL for the next 20 years. And then after that, they're done. They actually start taking the money out from age 65 to age 100, $55,000 a year. So combined, they're having about $110,000 a year in tax-free income from the IUL, generating from the IUL. That make sense?
For 35 years.
Right? And then the $180,000, you know, we actually gonna help them to put it in an annuity, like a fixed index annuity, right? So how do I present all of this information to the client, right? So that's one of the key, right? So first of all, with the IUL, so this is something that I do behind the scene, right? I do in my head before I go out and actually talk to the client about that. And so when we go back and actually present this this information, I would actually talk about, hey, you know, Max and Kristen, this is your goal, right? This is your goal, and $145,000, right? And right now, first of all, let's talk about your 401k. Let's talk about your 401k, and let's assume that you're 45 years old, right? So, let me borrow this real quick. So 45 years old, right? So this is something, this is my presentation in terms of rollover. So if you guys have someone that have a rollover, and then you want to actually want to close the business in terms of rollover, you guys have to understand, you have to do a few things. First of all, you have to disturb them, right? People won't act until they're a little bit disturbed. If people are comfortable, they won't take action. That makes sense? So let's say Kristen and Max, you guys are 45 years old, right? And you guys have about combined about $200,000 in 401k, right? So this is called a 3G presentation, right? You guys can see this? Oh, you can see this. Can you can just put it down there.
I got it.
Right? So this is my 3G presentation, right? So Kristen and Max, let me ask you guys this, right? You guys right now, how you guys plan to retire at what age?
65.
65 years old, right? And then how long do you have until 65?
About 20 years.
20 years. So you guys are 45 right now, 45, 50 couple, right? So you guys have about 20 years away from retirement, right?
Correct.
So just curious, do you guys remember 2008?
Yeah. I lost
2008?
everything.
You lost everything?
Everything.
Well, average people lose about 50% in their 401k.
Oh, yeah.
Did you experience something like that?
I did.
Wow. How did it make you feel?
I felt like I wasted my money.
You feel like, I'm sorry?
Wasted my money.
You feel like you wasted your money?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. And so how about Max? How did it make you feel at that time when you lose 40% of your 401k?
Yeah, it was the same as her. It was terrible.
That was terrible, right?
Yeah.
So just curious, you guys know that the market, what goes up must come down, right?
Yeah.
And then since 2008 till now, we haven't had any recession yet, right? So do you know that that could very well happen in the future as well, right?
Yeah.
But what happened if right now you guys are 45 years old, you guys have about 20 years away from retirement? What happened if the market is going to crash a few years before your retirement? What happened if you're planning retirement in the next few years, and then the market is going to crash 3-4 years before your retirement? What's going to happen to your retirement?
We're not going to be able to retire.
Can you speak louder?
No, we won't be able to retire.
Okay, you won't be able to retire. How about you, Max? What would happen to your retirement at that time if the market crashed 50%?
You would need to continue to work.
You need to continue to work, right?
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel?
Not good.
Not good, right? So if I can actually show you guys an opportunity, an option to prevent that from happening to your 401k, you'd definitely be open to take a look at, right?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So so right now you guys have combined about $200,000 in your 401k, right?
Right.
So let me ask you this: does your 401k give you this? Number one, does your 401k give you guaranteed principal protection?
No.
Principal protection. What does that mean? That means that Max and Kristen, does your 401k guarantee that you're gonna have what you started with, right? Guarantee?
Nope.
No, right? How about this? Does it give you guarantee minimum rate of return? What does that mean? That means that does your 401k guarantee that you're gonna, when you retire at age 65, you're gonna have more than what you started with?
No.
Does it guarantee you that?
No.
It could happen, but it's not guaranteed, is it?
No.
It's not, right? How about this? Does it give you guarantee income protection? What does that mean? That means that Kristen and Max, does your 401k guarantee you that when you retire at age 65, you're gonna have X amount of money for the rest of your life? Doesn't matter how long you live.
No.
No, right? So right now, you guys are pretty close to retirement right now, right? And then this is what you have, and this is the 3 guarantee that you don't have right now in your 401k. So let me ask you this: would you want to add this 3 guarantee into your 401k? If you have an opportunity to have this 3 guarantee added onto your 401k, would that be something that's pretty awesome?
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be awesome, right? Okay, good. So we actually, this is what we do in the marketplace, right? So we actually have a lot of different companies that actually can help you to add this 3 guarantee into your 401k. What happens is that you can actually move your money, just like you can move your money from the left pocket to the right pocket, right? And then actually have additional this 3 guarantee on top of it, right? Just like if you going on a car, right? So when you're younger, you can take a little bit more risk, but when you're a little bit older, when you're a little bit closer to retirement, or like a little bit older, right? Do you want to take as much risk as 18 years old? Not much, right? So that's what happened to your 401k as well, right? So people that actually a little bit closer to their retirement, they're a little bit more concerned about safety of their money more than the growth that they can have in the market. Is that true to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we actually gonna have there's different company that we work with, and by the way, this money you guys plan to use this money for your retirement income, right? You're not gonna take this money and go out and buy a Ferrari, do you? No, right? Okay, so this 200,000 is solely to use for your retirement income, right? So there's actually a lot of different company out there, but one of the top company that we work with is called Athene. So basically, Athene. So basically, we have a lot of different company that we work with, but depending on the client, right? And then this is come from experience as well. So I'm actually going, from looking at this couple, I know exactly what kind of product I can give to you, but that comes with experience. So that's why you guys go to product training to learn a little bit more about that, right? So when I actually ask them that if I can show them a product that gives them this 3 guarantee, they'll be open to do business with me, and they say yes, right? You guys see that, right? So now I'm going to, recommending a product that actually, give them some benefit, right? So there's a company that called Athene that we work with, right? So basically, this company is basically you actually working. This company is going to help you to give you this 3 guarantee, and then it's going to help you to actually create a pension for your money. Because most people they retire on a pension, right? But most people they cannot retire because most people nowadays they don't have a pension anymore. So there's something called a private pension or personal pension plan. Personal pension plan. Right? And so so they actually go through a lot of large company, like the company that we work with, like Athene, Nationwide, to actually create their own personal pension, right? So like Athene is a company that actually give you, when you actually move your money to Athene, right? Can you guys pay attention here, right? So like for example, like a company like Athene, right? So they would actually give you 10% bonus. So when you actually move your money from your left pocket to the right pocket, like from somewhere that you have it right now, that don't give you this 3 guarantee, to Athene, they actually, number 1, they give you 10% bonus. Number 2, they give you a guaranteed 10% simple interest for 10 years. For 10 years. So what does that mean? That means that right now you guys have 200,000, right? Let's say you guys are 55. 55 is more applicable. So 55 years old, you have 10 years left, right? So this program, from the get-go, when you move the money over, they'll give you 10% bonus, and then they're gonna actually guarantee you 10% simple interest growth for 10 years on your pension value, right? Remember we talked about you're not using this money, you're not gonna take a lump sum and buy a Ferrari, right? You're using this money for your retirement income in the future, right? So that is this pension values. After 10 years, your money is pretty much guaranteed to double. So from 200,000, it's going to become 400,000. right? And then depending on your age at that time, so 65 years old, right? You can have an X amount of money. Right now is around 5%, right? So that's about $20,000 a year for the rest of your life, right? So what that means is that when you put your money in 10 years later, you know exactly how much you're gonna have 10 years later. And then you're gonna have a $20,000 a year income for the rest of your life. Doesn't matter how long you live. You can live for 20 years, or you can live up to like 300 years old. The company continues to guarantee that income for you. That makes sense? Is that something that sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So how about Max?
Yeah.
It sounds good, right? So so this is something that we will do with your 401k, right? So what is the qualification process? Basically, this product sounds good, but however, this is how I actually start closing them on the paperwork process. Because remember, you can give people all this information, but if they don't fill out paperwork and they don't actually like fill out paperwork and actually write you a check, it doesn't mean anything. That makes sense?
Right.
You're not really helping someone until you help them to get qualified for this kind of program, right? So the next step for them is to actually fill out paperwork, and then most people, they get stuck right here, right? They do an amazing presentation, but at the end of the day, they don't know how to get into like, hey, let's fill out some paperwork, right? So how do you actually overcome that? So what I do is basically this is something that you always need to tell your client, right? Because and this is the truth in terms of, hey, Kristen and Max, this product sounds good, right? And you told me that you want to have this 3 guarantee added to your 401k, right?
Right.
So here's the thing, you want to have this product, but it doesn't mean that you can get it. That makes sense? Because there's something called a suitability process. Suitability, right? Meaning that you want this product, but at the same time, the company gotta make sure that you can qualify for this product, right? So what does that involve? It involves that we need to fill out an application process. There's an application process. We need to actually help you to fill out an application, and the company gotta review your situation, your financial situation, and they gotta make sure that this product is one of the best product that suit into your situation. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it doesn't mean that you can. This product sounds good, but it doesn't mean that you can get it yet. So we don't know about that. The only way that we can know about that is to actually help you to go through the qualification process, which is we need to fill out paperwork, right? I need to collect some of your statements, and then we can, and then the company is going to review it. When it's approved, then you can actually decide on that. Sounds good?
Okay.
Okay. So and that's how you actually get them warm up, right? And so all we need to do is I need your driver license, right? And then we're gonna fill out an application, and then we're gonna turn it to the company, and then they're gonna get back to us in probably a few weeks, a week or two, for them to review and everything else.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
So do you guys have your driver license with you guys?
Yeah.
So you have them get the driver license out, right? And you always, and then let's just say this application, right? So you actually you guys have driver license? You have your driver license with you? Because you always need to get a driver license, right? Okay. Right. How about you, Kristen?
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Don't laugh at the picture though. It was a rough night.
Yeah, you look quite different here. What happened to the hair?
She had cancer then.
Anyway, so, all right, so I walk them through the application process, right? Right. So name, things like that, application process. Okay, good. All right. Cool. So this is my rollover process, right? Let's just say this client don't have money to put away for IUL. They only have money for rollover. This is what I just did, right? So whatever I just did right now on this piece of paper is my rollover presentation, right? Is it pretty simple?
Yes.
Right? Mainly you talk about the 3G, right? 3 guarantees. You have questions?
Are you able to roll over from a 401k before they retire?
Yes.
I have a 401k and I was told that I have to quit in order to.
Are you still working?
Yes.
Well, so if you're working still, then you can, normally they don't allow that, but there's something called in-service withdrawal that you guys can actually find out. So what I would do with you, Mark, is that I would actually call your HR department and I would ask them, hey, I want to know how much I can actually, like, number one, do you guys allow something called in-service withdrawal? Okay, in-service withdrawal, meaning that you can actually take your money out even though when you're still working with the company. Number two, how much can I actually withdraw out, roll it over into a different plan? You have to ask your HR department because it varies from company to company. Some company allow that, some company don't.
They allow loans, like what they call a loan.
Yeah, it's not a loan, it's called in-service withdrawal.
Okay.
Right, in-service withdrawal, and you have to ask your HR department on that, okay? So anyway, so any questions on this?
Yeah. What's the drawback?
What's the drawback?
Yeah.
Okay, so good. So now we're going to objection,
Objection.
right? Objection. So the drawback of this is that one of the things that the drawback on this, Kevin, is that there's actually this is a long-term commitment, long-term program. So this company, in that 10 years that they give you the guarantee, they actually have something called surrender charge in that 10 years. So what that means is that you know, it's not supposed, this program is not designed for you to put it in 1 year and then take it out lump sum the next year, right? It requires about 10 years commitment. Make sense? But then right now you're 55 years old, right? So that's why I asked you, what is your retirement age? And then when you actually plan to take the money out, right? So the drawback, one of the drawbacks is that it's a long-term commitment, right? So it's not for someone that actually, you know, have a, you know, like, that's why I asked Kristen and Max that, do you see yourself taking this $200,000 out to buy a Ferrari tomorrow, right? So, and I asked them that you want to use this 200,000 for the purpose of retirement only,
Right.
right? Right, not for to buy a Ferrari. That makes sense. So that's one of the drawbacks. And then also is that basically this one is actually there's actually I forgot this. There's depending on the products, right? So this is the basic presentation, right? And some of you guys, you need to go to more product training in terms of Saturday we have product training. So when you go to a Saturday product training, you're gonna understand more about some of this program, right? So this program is more like a pension program that actually have a 1% fee every year, 1% fee on this one as well, right? So one of the most common another objection that they have is that tell me that you need to think about it. It sounds good, but you need to think about it.
I don't know, Andy. I really need to sleep on it. I need some time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys need to think about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. How long do you think you need to think about it? How much time do you usually sleep on things?
Probably at least over the weekend.
Over the weekend? Okay. Good. Awesome. Yeah, I believe so too. You know, because it's a big decision that actually, you know, it's gonna actually affect your, you know, like the long term, right? So basically, this is what we're gonna do is we're gonna submit an application to see if you can qualify for it or not. Because you agree with me that you need to find out whether or not you can qualify for it. If you don't qualify for it, you don't need to think about it.
So if we
Make
submit
sense?
the application and we're approved, we can still deny it though?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So during the time that you know we fill out the paperwork and actually you know submit to the company, you know when you think about this product, the company have to think about you as well. That makes sense. So that gives you guys some time to think about it, but at the same time, you know, get the process going. So when the company answer you that they actually accept you, then you have something to really think about. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But if the company come back and say, hey, you know, this product, we cannot get this product, then there's nothing to think about. Does that make sense? Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay, good. So the qualification process is probably a few weeks, so you actually have a few weeks to think about it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good?
Awesome.
Right? Because a lot of people, they're like, oh, I need to think about it. Okay, well, let's follow up in the next 3 weeks. But during that time, because the fact that, you know, there's nothing that they fill out and there's nothing that, I mean, it's not a huge commitment in terms of filling out an application. Nothing's final yet. That makes sense? So they still have some time to think about it, but at the same time, it get the process going. That makes sense?
Yep.
Right? So that's actually one of the biggest objection there is, right? The biggest objection is that people are hesitant, they're kind of on the edge. They need you to actually give them a push so that they can actually, you know, start getting going, right? So that's how you overcome the, I need to think about it, objection, right? Good? So everybody, can you guys master the 3G?
Yeah.
Right? Everybody can think of it? You can do that?
One question on the 10% simple interest.
Mhm.
So it's 10% of the original principal for 10 years.
Right.
So no more
interest.
10% on the, so after 1 year you get $20,000, but no 10% on top of the 20,000.
No. Let me.
Get 10% on the 200,000. The principal plus
Okay.
compound interest is when you get.
All right. So basically, this program is they give you 10%. Let's say you have a piece of 10. So over here. So let's say you have $100,000, right? Yeah, and then on Saturday we're actually gonna focus more on product, right? But I'm gonna briefly go over that with you. So from the get-go, when you roll over, your 100,000 is gonna turn into 110,000, right? That's the principal plus 10% bonus, and then every year after that for the next 10 years, right? Your money is gonna grow at 10% simple interest, right? So 10% of that is 10,000, right? So year one, it's gonna become 120. Year two, 130. Year four, 140, and then so on, right? Year 10, it's about 200.
Right.
Make sense? So it's double after 10 years. Simple interest. This is simple interest. Make sense?
If Max gets a huge bonus halfway through, he wants to throw that into his pension, can he do that?
No, he can't. With this program, he can't. So this program is pretty much like this is the it's called a single premium. So you just put it in once, right? There's different program that's called flexible premium. You can actually add more money in, but this is one time. Later on, let's say Max have more money that he want to create another pension. He actually have to open a new one.
Can you just put it in annuity?
Yeah, this is annuity, right? So this is called a fixed index annuity, right? Another name for it is a personal pension plan, right? Basically, this program is good for people who are looking to turn their 401k into a pension that pay them for the rest of their life. That makes sense? So everybody get this, right? So let me go to the next step that I'm gonna talk about. Everybody get this? Master it? All right. Piece of paper. I got it. So go back to this client, right? So that is the one of the stuff that we talk about, right? And then the second thing is that you know, we have this client has about $9,000 a year, a month, to actually put in somewhere that actually help them to. So this client have about $9,000 a month to invest in some other places, right? So we actually gonna. When we actually can pull up the illustration, so I run an illustration, right? So I actually show them an illustration and show them that, hey, you put $2,000 a month each into this program. From 45 to 65, your income is going to be $55,000 a year for both clients. So they're going to have a pension of $110,000 a year, no tax, after 20 years, right? And so this combined with whatever $20,000 that they have from their pension, it's going to be about $130,000 a year in income for them. That makes sense? Right? So that's pretty close to $145,000 pension that we talk about. That makes sense? So how do I close this? So after I show the people this, right? Mm-hmm. So does this income look good for you? Yeah. Right? $100,000 a year. If both of you each put $2,000 a month into this program, by the way, this program gives you three things, right? Give you this income stream. Number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, give you the life insurance, the death benefit. Number three, provide you with long-term care. So what is long-term care? Long-term care is pretty much something that a lot of people, they need right now, is because nowadays people live a little bit longer. That makes sense? So in the past, life expectancy is about 70 years old, right? now life expectancy is about 85 to 90 years old. So what happened when people live longer is that toward the end of their life, they have it's hard for them to take care of themselves, right? So in terms of dressing, bathing, and eating, things like that. So they need someone to actually take care of them, and the cost of that is pretty high. It's about $70,000 to $80,000 a year in long-term care costs, right? So with this program, it's more like a happy meal of financial services industry, right? So it gives you three things. It gives you when you there's only two possibility, right? Three possibility, right? Number one is you're alive, right? Number two is death, right? Number three, you're in the middle. You're in the middle, right? What does that mean when you're in the middle? It's long-term care. That makes sense? You're living, but at the same time, you can't take care of yourself, right? So when you're alive, you're going to get this, $110,000 a year pension. Right? If something happened to you, you get the death benefit, right?
I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, the beneficiary get it, right? So you get the death benefit, right, plus the cash value, right, at that time. So if I have an illustration, I would actually show them the exact amount, but we don't have an illustration right now. But, and then if you're in the middle, right, you can actually take the death benefit, a portion of a death benefit out to actually pay for your long-term care. Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
Pretty good, right? So basically, in order for you to qualify for this, obviously, this sounds good. So same thing, right? Same thing with the rollover that we talked about. As you like to have this program, but at the same time, the company, you want to think about the company also have to think about you as well. So what do we need to do? Since this is like an insurance program, you need to qualify medically. You gotta medically qualify for this, right? So what do we need to do is, first of all, we need to fill out an application process, right? So there are a few things. Number one, you need to fill out an application. You're gonna turn in an application with a company with a first month deposit. First month deposit. Okay? And then so what is first month deposit for? It's like a good faith deposit, right? To get the application started. And during this time, you don't, so the qualification process is gonna take about a few weeks, right? Let's give it a few weeks to like a month or so, right? For you to qualify. During this time, you're gonna get temporary insurance. Temporary insurance. Right? And number three, you get a free checkup, medical checkup. Free medical checkup. Okay? So during this time, the company is gonna think about, whether or not you qualify. And if you don't qualify, they'll refund your first month deposit. Okay. If you qualify, the first month deposit is gonna apply into the first month. Okay. That makes sense? And then after that, subsequently, right? And number four, right? So you get a application, temporary insurance. You get free medical checkup at that time, right? And then so pretty much it, right? So there's three things, and basically, so what we need to do is we need to get the application started to see if you qualify for it or not. Great. Sounds good? So yeah. Same thing. You have your driver license with you, and then get the application started, right? So all I need to do is I need your driver license. I need your bank account and account number and routing number, and then fill out an application. So you can do it whether on paper or on iGo as well. Sure. Make sense? Right?
Now what if the applicant dies before it's approved?
So here's the thing. So if the client, so when you collect the first month deposit, they have temporary insurance. Right. What does that mean? Is that they're temporarily covered during the time that they're being underwritten, right? So during the time that they go through underwriting process, they have temporary insurance. So if they pass during that time, then they get the death benefit. If you don't collect the first month deposit, then they don't get temporary insurance. Okay. That make sense?
Does the deposit matter with gender and age? Is that fluctuate?
Say that again?
Does the deposit fluctuate with gender and age?
Yeah, it does.
It's not the illustration.
Yeah.
Morbidity,
Actually,
morbidity chart.
I wanna show the illustration.
You'd have like a $20 deposit.
Right. Yeah, so. Yeah. I was gonna show you guys the illustration, but it's it doesn't quite work out well. So anyway, so or anybody have it's okay. So you guys get something out of this, right? So you guys do see how I actually do this on the field, right? So the most important thing for you guys to talk about is this few things that we talk about. Number one is the 3G presentation, right? You gotta master this 3G presentation to close the IUL. And sometime in the appointment, you're gonna actually when you come back with their financial needs analysis, there's actually multiple products that you actually can close on the same night. That makes sense? So you talk about, so you close one at a time. That makes sense? So what I do is I actually do a 3G presentation and then take care of their 401k, and then I actually go back and do their IUL along with that as well, right? So this actually, you know, the last appointment is actually the longest appointment because you actually have to fill out an application and everything else as well. Johnny?
Shouldn't the IUL be the first thing more important? If they are people covered, it's more important than having annuity started?
Either way, yeah, like my plan is to close them all, right? And so, you know, you can,
you say by priority.
yeah, you can do like, usually the insurance, I mean, either way, either sequence is fine, you know, like sometimes you do term and sometimes you do IUL as well, and then you do a rollover, right? So basically that is for someone who actually have quite a few things in the pipeline, right? I mean, a lot of the client that you go to, they're not gonna have a lot. So I'm gonna show you guys another example that I'm gonna have, right? So we have, I plan to do 2 case study with you guys today, right? So that's one case, yes or no? This client is doing pretty well, like 200,000 in income, have something to save, right? And then have a 401k to roll over. And another client is actually a little bit more simpler, right? So let me block out the name. Okay. So this is one of my clients as well, right? So this client make about $37,000 a year, right? You want to put in here? So this client make about $37,000 a year, right? And then monthly, she bring home about $3,700, right? And then her expense is about $3,500. So her disposable income is only $249 a month.
Wow.
Right? So that's pretty tight. But one thing is very important for her is that she wants her family to be covered, right? And then she wants to put away $100. So this is something that, you know, this is the no family left behind part in our business. There's a lot of people like this that don't get help in the financial services industry. And nobody actually sit down and actually show her that, hey, you know that every single month you only have about $249 of discretionary income to save toward your financial independence, right? So this case is very simple. We go back. We're gonna do $100 in terms of IUL, right? We're gonna help her with $100 IUL. She's pretty young. She's like 35 years old, 33, 34 years old. So we're gonna start with $100 a month in IUL, right? And let's just say this is Kristen. This is not Kristen, but let's just say it's Kristen, right? So we'll get you start with $100 a month IUL, both of you guys, Matt and Kristen, right? And then so Kristen and Max, so we go through the same thing, right? You think about us, we gotta think about you as well.
Right.
So first thing that we gotta do is to get you to see if you qualify or not, right? And then fill out an application. So after this, I actually want to offer them the opportunity, right? So how do you offer people an opportunity when you get into this case, right? So Kristen and Max, you know, as much as we we can do to help you right now to actually to become financially independent. You know that by saving $100 a month, do you think by saving $100 a month it's gonna help you to get to your financial destination? Both of you
It's
guys?
gonna take a long time.
It's gonna take a long time, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I mean, hopefully sooner I can increase it.
Hopefully you can increase it.
Yeah.
How about Max? How do you feel about this?
$100 a month.
The quicker it can go, the better.
Right. So there's two things that you guys can do, right?
Mhm.
So this is your income.
Right.
This is your expense, right?
Yeah.
So there's only two things that you can do, right? If you want to actually save more, there's only two things you can do. Either you lower your expenses so that you can save more, or you increase your earning, right? Do you see yourself possible of increasing your expenses in the next 3 to 6 months so that you can save a little bit more?
Well, we'll have to cancel the cable.
Yeah, it'd be unlikely.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unlikely, right?
He's a huge hockey fan. He has to have cable.
Right. So you guys don't. What you guys telling me is you don't see yourself lowering your expenses anytime soon, right?
Yeah.
So there's only one way that you can actually do it in terms of making more money,
Right.
right? Do you see yourself getting a raise anytime soon at your job, both of you guys? No.
I just started.
You just started, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I can actually show you a way that you can actually learn a little bit more about what I just did, right? And you can actually make an extra couple $1,000s on a monthly basis doing what I just did with you guys right now. You'd be open to make more money, right?
Yeah.
If I can show you how to actually increase your income, that'll be
Right.
awesome, right?
Yeah.
Good. So I just have their commitment to come on board with me. That makes sense?
Yep.
So what we can do, okay, that's great. So what I want to do besides helping you on getting this started, I want to actually invite you over to one of our open house so that you can actually get to know some of the people that from our company as well. A lot of people, they come from similar situation as you, but at the same time they make a decision to increase their income by getting involved with our company, learn a little bit more about what we do, and now they actually make more money so that they can save more money. That sounds good?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing next Saturday? Saturday morning.
Whatever you want.
Do whatever I want.
That's a good client.
Max is good.
Max
So I wanna invite them over to the BPM, right? So not only you going out to the field and you closing business, but you also the best product that we have is the opportunity, right? So don't forget to do that, right? This is your income, this is your expense. There's only two ways that you can actually save more, right? So either you lower your expenses or you increase your income. Which one do you think is easier for you to do?
Increase the income.
Increasing your income, right? Doing what? We can actually show you an opportunity to learn more about what we do and make extra income as well. Is that pretty awesome?
Yeah.
That's it, right? And then obviously you ask for referral as well, right? So there's a few things that I actually highlight in this one. Can't really see too much, right? So we talk about, hold on. All right, over here, right? So number one, you recap about what we discussed last time, right?
There you go.
Review the F&A, right? Go over the numbers. And then I just did with you guys the proposal in terms of 401k rollover, in terms of the 3G presentation, and the IUL illustration, right? Today we didn't have time to show you guys the IUL illustration. If you're licensed and you don't know how to run illustration, you gotta come to a Saturday meeting, because about 2 weeks ago I run an illustration class, right? So you have to be able to run that illustration, right? And then in terms of closing, this is some of the things that we talk about, right? Fill out an application to see if you qualify, right? In terms of that closing line, in terms of which is the truth, right? People want to think about our product. The company product provider gotta think about them as a client as well. Doesn't mean that you want a product, you can actually get it. You see what I'm saying? And so you gotta take it away. Here's the thing: don't give it away, take it away. Makes sense? Because human psychology is that people want what they can't have or what they don't have. Makes sense? If you just say that, hey, you know what? If you beg the client to become your client, they will think that you're trying to take advantage of them. Makes sense? But you need to tell them the truth is that when they think about our product, we gotta think about them. Same thing with recruit, right? You want someone to come on board with you, you gotta tell them that, hey, as much as we want you to become one of our team members, we as much as you want to think about us, we want to think about them, well, about you, right? Because we only want people that ambitious, people with integrity to operate with our group, right? And then this is the 4 things that I talked about, right? Collect first month premium. You're gonna actually schedule a time for their medical exam, right? And they're gonna actually have a temporary insurance during underwriting period, and it's actually subject to qualification, meaning they have to qualify for it. And next one is I ask for referral, right? So how do you guys remember that last time that I went out to the field, I also asked them, the first 2 field training, I asked them for referral, yes or no?
Yes.
Right? So this time, before I actually do the income and expense stuff, right, I actually asked them, so Kristen and Max, do you guys see that some of the things that we do for you just now, do you find value in terms of what we just did? The last two times that we met, you see tremendous value? Think about this, right? How many people around you need to know about what we just did right now? Everybody, right? So if you can actually help me to actually go out and help them to actually do something like this, you can actually make money on a part-time basis. We'll be also open to that, right? That's it, right? So you actually ask them for referral, and you leverage that referral to actually recruit them as well. Because whether or not Kristen and Max, whether or not you guys do this business or not, the people around you need to know about this kind of information anyways, right? But how would you like to share with other people and make money at the same time? Would you want to share with other people and not making money, or you want to share with other people and make money? Which one would you like to do?
Share with people and make money.
And make money, right? That's it. Right? So you get a referral, and you tell them, hey, I'm gonna go out and help the referral the same way I help you. But now you have 2 choices. You can either make money on that referral, or you can not make money on that referral, and now I make all the money. Which one would you rather me to do? They're like, no, share with me some money, right? Okay, so all we need to do is to help you to come on board with our company, get licensed, and when they become a client, your referral become a client, then I make money, but you also make money as well. Sounds good? So that you can make more money, so you can actually save more money. Sounds good? Sounds like a deal?
Yeah.
Okay,
Money,
awesome.
money.
Right? So, good guys?
Yeah.
Good? Awesome. So, let's give Kristen and Max a hand, right?
All right, you move the table?
All right. Yep. All right, guys. So you guys learned a lot today.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Right. So this video is gonna be available online. Okay. So coming up, some of this material is gonna be on our website. So when you log to our website, you can actually learn a little bit more about that as well. Right. So you can go back and revisit. I know that today we have some sort of technical difficulties, right? Because last time I actually want to show what I draw on a piece of paper. I couldn't do that, but today we can do that. So next time it's gonna get a little bit better, right? So time after time, our technology gets a little bit better after time, right? So can anybody want to share what you guys learned the most today? Donna?
It's quite impressive because you were able to kind of encapsulate it like this happy meal. You can say this is how we can take care of your today, but also take care of tomorrow. There's long-term care.
Right.
There's also the insurance aspect, but also a way for them to accrue money so that it doesn't get taxed.
Right.
And everybody right now today is just getting fed this 401k line.
Right.
And I had it for 30 years.
Right.
And there's another way of accruing wealth. This is the way to do it, and you did a very good job of that.
Right. And then I couldn't show you guys the illustration, but if I can show you guys the illustration, it's gonna be a lot more convincing. You know, like illustrations technically sell itself, right? If you run effective illustration.
Yeah, I was just saying too, I think right along Donald's point there, that again, everybody comes in with the mindset of having a 401k. What's overlooked is that a lot of people, I guess, defer the minimum or defer the matching that their company does, and to some extent their 401k is underfunded. So a lot of people are entering retirement with underfunded 401k plans. And secondly, if people are concerned about losing money, they can have multiple legs in their retirement. So it's not just, if somebody says, hey, I've already got a 401k, you say, okay, well, that's great. What if the market collapses like 2008?
Right, exactly.
Then what do you do?
So my 3G presentation, literally I can do that within 5 to 10 minutes and disturb someone to do a rollover with me. If you guys can actually master that 3G presentation that I just did with you guys, you can actually go out and do hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in terms of rollover, right? A couple of months ago, I just did a $500,000 rollover doing the same thing, right? So Mike was there, right? So same thing, right? So like you remember some of the things that we do, right? It's similar, right? So one thing is that one thing you need to get good at your craft in terms of getting scripted and onto the field, right? So can all of us, we go back and practice this and then, you know, make this yours, right? So every Thursday, I want to make sure that we train you guys on closing, on the skill set, on closing, right? So next time, I'm going to actually go back and actually help you guys with a few things. First of all, I want to, every Thursday, this is our schedule, right? Every Thursday, every time you come, your closing skill is going to get a little bit better, right? You guys see that today, I show you guys a few tricks on how I close, right? Some of my closing techniques, right? In terms of a lot of people, they give great information, but they get stuck at the end. How do you actually get people to actually fill out an application, right? What do you say, right? How do you say, and then people are always gonna, sometimes people want to tell you that they want to think about it. How do you overcome that objection? That make sense? So every time that, so right now my commitment to you guys is that I'm gonna want to help you guys to increase your closing muscle. In terms of, you're gonna go to, on Saturday we're gonna train you guys on products, so you can talk about product, but talking about product doesn't close. Giving information is not closing, right? So how do you actually have certain things that you say that actually, you know, close people on the field? That make sense? So some of the things that we do today is helpful, right? So Thursday is closing. Saturday is product. Make sense? So if you guys want to, but you guys cannot master, you guys cannot have a successful business without one or the other, right? If you're great on the field, but you don't know what the product is, then you're going to have some challenge. But a lot of us, we know a lot about product, but we have no idea how to close. You don't get results that way either. That make sense? All right, so let's go to meeting after meeting, right? Tim, want to do a meeting after?
Sure.
All right, let's give Tim a hand.
Uploading the picture. A little shaky camera work with this, pretty good. Huh? Get a steady cam next time I wear like my little, I look like Ann, just get a little belly and set the camera on there. Anyways, how was that? You guys excited about that?
Yeah.
Anybody else with any feedback on that? Anybody? Anything to say? Were you guys excited about it though? You liked it? You understood it?
I'm fired up.
Who didn't understand it? Raise their hand. Who thinks they got a better grasp? Raise their hand. Who thinks Andy's training is awesome? Keep your hand raised.
Yeah.
All right. And I know you're pretty new to this, jumping into that second and third interview, but we'll get you caught up, okay? No worries.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So, as you guys know, we're almost to the end of the month. We're at what's today, the 28th, 29th? 29th. So we got 2 days left. So we want to finish the month strong. I think we're at 7 recruits right now. We want to get to a BBC 10 at least. I'm pretty sure that we're going to hit that. I know I got one more lined up and a few more people like Erica and Debbie got a few lined up. So that's pretty exciting that we're going to hit that. Listen, I know you got something lined up. And so the name of the game, you guys, as you guys know, is to go out there and build your hierarchy, your own hierarchy one day, your own team, your own army or Marine Corps, your own empire. You know, I got to put that out there. Your own empire. And so to do that and to grow, to come in and get a passive income that you want, like you explained in the beginning of this training, is to go out there and recruit people. Is to go out there to prospect, bring people in, show them what we got, give them the education that we have, get them licensed, get them out there, build them, and build yourselves simultaneously at the same time. So that's important. So we want to go out there and hit those numbers every month. And we want to start hitting double digits, like 20 and above. 20 and above. We can do that. We've done it a few times, so let's be consistent in that. Also, Fast Start School. Anyone's the next Fast Start School? Do you know?
No,
Not yet?
not yet.
Okay, so that's to be announced. I think it's gonna be April sometime.
Wine tasting.
Yeah.
Convention.
Yeah. We got the wine tasting contest coming up. I don't know who wants to go wine tasting in Temecula? Who wants to drink
drinking.
more than just taste?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Who wants to have several drinks? Who wants Andy to pay for it?
Yeah.
All right. Can we clap to that?
I want a pipeline.
You want what?
A pipeline.
A pipeline. We need a pipeline of stuff. We don't want to just have one thing, you know.
You're gonna do lots of whining.
Yeah. There's no whining in wine tasting, but you can have plenty of wine. Okay, so remember that. So that's awesome. I don't think a lot of people are running for Disney, but if you are, awesome. That's good too. That's a big deal. Convention. Can we all say convention? Can we all say register for convention?
Register for convention.
Awesome. Who's going to convention? Raise your hand.
Oh, yes.
This whole room. Okay, so if we get everybody in this room plus another 25, we'll hit our goal of 50, right? We'll hit our goal of 50, which is big. Don't think it can't happen because we got a lot of people that are live streaming it, sitting at home. We need butts in seat. But anyway, that's good too. That's a good too, but we want you here.
Right.
So get registered. It's a big deal. I actually joined the company a few weeks before a convention, Wealth Bowl and then convention, and that is a big deal. It's a really big deal. It'll inspire you. It'll motivate you. It'll drive you. You've got to drive yourself, but it'll help drive you. It'll give you the tools that you need to put in your little tool closet to go out there and make a hustle and make it happen. And if you're already not doing that, I suggest you do that. I suggest you get to this convention. It's going to be more money in a couple months. It's about, what, 190 right now? I think it's going to go up to 195. It'll go up to about 250, you guys. So you want to get on top of that. That's a big deal. All right? All right, everybody up. Let's do it. All right. And we're going to do a huge power whoosh. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go whoa, and then we're going to go whoosh, or we're going to go boom, register for convention, boom. So 2 booms, right? Loud, right? All right? So you can go register for convention, boom. Okay? Boom, register for convention, boom. All right? So here we go. Whoa! Whoosh! Boom! Register for convention! Boom! There it is. All right. Cheers! All right.
Good job, Andy.
You learned the box. You learned the box.
I was helping him out.
So you and Max are married?
Yeah, we're married. I have 7 kids.
I know. I'm joking.
So you want to take them away from 401k and the fixed index annuity, which is how you do it.
No. Fixed index annuity is not an
Good job,
Okay. So fixed index annuity is 401k.
Yeah. So you need to go on Saturday meeting. We're going to train you on that.
Still learning.
Learn a lot.
Yeah, $100 IUL.
Well, that's okay because you're on my team. And that's better for me. Yes, she's better. His paycheck is
Well, I
better.
mean, something is better than nothing.
Yeah, but can you choose an amount, or don't you have to plug in ages and everything in order?
Yeah. But we didn't have enough time today.
Okay.
But that's why I'm saying people need to come to the Saturday meeting to learn about, you know, to learn about the
Okay. Oh, the one right here by the bicycle. There's one there. I took the other day. The first time I went there.